Hi. So it's the middle of the night and I can't sleep and I don't want to bother Noah. So what I do when this happens is I come hang out in the truck. Normally I'll try to watch videos on my phone, but I don't have any internet connection. So one of the main reasons why I came on this trip is a psychological sabbatical. For those of you who've been following me, you know that I've been going through a lot for the last few years. I lost everything and I had a whole lot of deaths. During the day, I can control my thoughts and my feelings for the most part, unless I receive outside messages that I can't control. I can't control other people and what they send me. But at night, it's a totally different story. I haven't been able to control my dreams, and I've been trying to get into lucid dreaming again, like I did when I was a child, because I had a lot of difficulty with my dreams as a child as well. To no avail as of yet. So last night, I had a lot of dreams. And I dreamt about my ex, Drew, who just recently passed away about 2 months ago. He was living with me for like the last 10 years. And in my dreams, I always know that he's dead. But I talk to him about he and I dated for a few years, and we dated a few times, and he lived with me off and on When we dated, he was my second most horrible boyfriend. My first most horrible boyfriend while we dated was Arthur, who also just passed away. Drew really wanted to make amends with me about how our relationship went, and for the last few months of his life, he really emphasized how sorry he was about how things went, and how he wanted my forgiveness, and I totally gave him my forgiveness. And we were hanging out a lot. We were doing art, we were painting, and he kept telling me repeatedly how he needed to get away from this group of friends of his and just hang out with me and do more art, because he felt like it was going to kill him. And it did. One thing I haven't mentioned, and I wanted to wait for time to pass, was when his family came to our house to take all of his stuff while we were in Japan. He died 2 days before we returned from Japan. And they just took, I guess, whatever they wanted, and they threw everything else in trash bags, including personal items that I made him, sculptures that I made him that says XZanthia loves Drew, and pictures of us and everything. And his parents knew that I was really against the lifestyle that Drew followed. I mean, I traveled across the United States with his brother, and he knew I was against smoking and drinking and drugs and even marijuana and all of that. But for some reason, after Drew died of a drug overdose, I was put in the category with all of his other friends, and all of my stuff was just thrown away. One of the other friends went through the trash bags while we were gone and took out all the artwork that I made for him, the picture frame with us and everything. Anyway, I still have that stuff now. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It just makes me sad, but I don't want to have a shrine of all of my dead loved ones like my mother has. The last time I went on this trip that I'm going on now, I actually went with my ex, Arthur, that passed away about a year ago. And we would sleep under the table mesa. We would sleep on the table mesa. We slept in Oregon. No, we didn't. We slept in Nevada, in the desert, underneath the stars, on a blow-up mattress. It was absolutely beautiful. But we had a very toxic relationship. It was really silly. One of the biggest problems he had with me was my interest in education. Anytime I watched a documentary, he got really upset at me and would yell at me. So I wasn't allowed to watch documentaries for the 2 years that we dated. And I wasn't really allowed to talk or have opinions, things like that. And I'm a very independent woman, so that was very difficult on both of us. But after we broke up, we stayed friends for years. Whenever he would come to Florida, he would stay with us. And that dog, Cello, that I had that died on Thanksgiving a few years ago was hit by a car in front of my house because one of my friends left the door open when I was in school. That was our dog. At one point, Arthur was locked in jail, and PJ and I drove up to New Orleans, where Arthur was living, to pick up Cello because Cello's chip was still in my name, and she was found wandering the streets. All of this stuff comes up in my dreams, and I wake up with like this really heavy feeling. Also, last night, I dreamt about my most recent ex, Alec, which I haven't really spoken about much. We had a really great relationship for like 2 years. We hardly had any issues, but the ending was about 2 weeks long and extremely messy. We were both going through a whole lot. I was losing everything. I was losing my resort, my home. I was losing my other home in St. Pete. My whole life was being thrown upside down, and he used to joke saying that my life was in shambles. My life is in shambles. My life is in shambles. Well, it was in shambles at the time. And at the time, they were transitioning and coming out to their family that they were bisexual. So they had a whole lot going on, and they found someone new, and were spending a whole lot of time with them when they and I were supposed to be going on this trip. And I had just bought an RV, and we were getting ready to leave, but they couldn't get off the phone with this other person long enough to like really spend much time with me. And this went on for 2 weeks, and I couldn't handle it. I was like, I can't go on this trip with you if you're going to stay on the phone with this other person the whole time. And so they left, and they went over to this other person's house, and they started posting lovey videos with this other person. They ended up, and it just hurt. It just hurt a whole lot. And anyway, so all day, I do whatever I can to be positive, to block the people out of my life that are causing me turmoil, and to just move forward and enjoy my life. But at night, it's like out of my control, and I'm working really hard on it. And I've been going through therapy for the last few months, and off and on for like the last 3 years since all of this started. So I wake up pretty much every morning in like torment. And if it wasn't so cold outside and so dark, I would go do something. So normally at the studio, this is when I would wake up and do some art. please leave me comments. Let me know if you think there's anything that I can do to help with my dreams. And let me know if these types of conversations are something that you want to hear, or you just want to see me having fun and not getting into what it is that I'm going through. Okay, goodbye for real this time. Bye.